Hello everybody, welcome to UKGN Network. I'm Brian, also known as UKGN Zoidberg. I've just had a Cadbury's mini roll, I've got my coffee, we're all set to play some old games. So I hope everybody is well today. Good afternoon UKGN Pad, good afternoon Terra Ken, good afternoon Carl, all in the chat already. Welcome. So this is the Last Ninja collection on the Nintendo Switch, which arrived over the weekend and I have not played yet. I've literally put it into the Switch this morning, made sure that it's downloaded, any updates, and we are ready to go. So, you got 2 boxes full of Amiga games yesterday. Wow. I wish I had 2 boxes of Amiga games to go through. Okay, so this collection has 7 games in it for the price of 1. It was an original mini roll, just to stick with the classic. Although I do quite like the mint ones or the raspberry ones. So I have limited experience of the Last Ninja series. Never really played it on the Commodore 64 because I didn't have one back in the day. I had a Spectrum and I played the Spectrum version, and then I played the Amiga versions of Last Ninja 2, Last Ninja 3 and Ninja Remix. So best thing to do is going to be to try and play through these games in order. So let's go with Last Ninja. Commodore 64. So you got an option. So you can have a save game option. That's good. I was wondering about the controls because obviously this required the keyboard back when you played it on the Commodore 64. The most you played of it was Last Ninja 2 on the Amstrad. Right, okay. So let's just get on and play, shall we? Classic Commodore 64 tunage. Hope the volume is okay for everybody. Finally managed to get here just in time for one of the streams. Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay. So push immediately back in the opposite direction and you walk backwards. If you roll the joystick round, then you'll keep turning. Right, okay. Arya Stark, welcome into the chat. Okay, so I've got a button there for jump. I've got no idea how to fight. Ah, there we go. Oh, I appear to have lost a hell of a lot of power in that first encounter. Oh dear. Let's have a look in the opposite direction, shall we? This is my controls. So I can cycle items, I can jump with the A button, cycle weapon with the B button. Yes or no are on L and R. Music on or off. Why would I want to turn the music off? You're very eager for the upcoming Defender of the Crown remake. I've only just got notified about that last week, and I must say I am intrigued about that one myself. Okay, so there are filter effects as well. Pixel perfects. I can make it look like it's a CRT or an old school. Let's go for a CRT. So diagonally down is pick up. That's not going to be particularly great, is it? Water is feared by all ninjas. Yes, apparently it is. And I see it's a fairly good CRT filter. It was always the controls that did me in on this game. I could never understand how you're supposed to actually do things. So I'm holding down the fire button. Where did I pick this up? I got this off Amazon. I pre-ordered it a long time ago. The release date kept changing, and then I got a notification the other day telling me that it was shipped. So that's when I decided to stream it this week. I was supposed to be doing the second part of my Cruise for a Corpse playthrough today, but I thought I would postpone that for a week and play this instead. I'm assuming that running past people is going to be my best option in a lot of this. There's something flashing in the corner there. What is it? Last Ninja Remix is one of the earliest examples of remakes, absolutely. And that was how they made the game for the for the 16-bit system. Okay. Doesn't seem to be a pickup command. Let me pass you. If there is anybody in the chat who can tell me what there is I'm supposed to be actually doing on this. Ooh, pick up. So I can collect that. How do I collect? How do I collect something? See, it says to pick up, you press diagonally down on the joystick. That's what I'm trying to do. It says I can collect a sword there, so how do I collect it? Yeah, see, pick up are diagonally down. Hold A and press diagonally. That's what I was trying to do. So hold the A button. It's not doing anything. That's... I have, yeah. Well, as I say, I never had a Commodore 64 back in the day. I had a Spectrum and then an Atari ST, then an Amiga. So this was always one of those games that people were telling me that I should play. Why does it not let me pick it up? See, there is apparently an item there. So what is it? Okay, okay. So if you remember, I can't actually pick up the sword there. That's all. That's good to know. Well, it's a good job that there are 6 other games on this compilation, isn't it? Because this is pretty horrific. Fire button combined with the diagonal. Yes, that's what that was what it told me. Well, if you had asked me before starting to play this, which game was I looking forward to playing the most in this compilation, then yes, IK Plus would be top of that list. IK Plus is an absolute classic. But we'll get to that in a bit. I remember watching somebody play this in my local game store back when it came out on the Commodore 64, and they were enjoying it and talking about how great it was, but at the same time they were stood there battling with the joystick trying to do stuff. Let's move on. So apparently that got 94% in Zap 64 and 95% in Team VG. Check Last Ninja 2. This also got 94%. There's a Spectrum version, an Amstrad version, or a Spectrum version, an Amiga version, or a Commodore 64 version. Let's go back. Let's go to the Commodore 64 version of Last Ninja 2 then, shall we? So that opens the trap door. As good as the music is, it would be nice to have some sound effects. You're quite right there. Good game design should not be that the first enemy you encounter takes 20 hits. There's a key that I missed in the room that I fell into. Right, okay. Head back in there. Ah, yes, there's a key on the floor. Thank you for that. My God, I actually picked something up. It is annoying how you have to stand in the specific spot to be able to actually hit that button. Oh, that just knocked him out. He's not dead. Let me past you, git. The soundtrack is really something. You're not wrong. Let me try and switch this to the Amiga version once I get game over. He just threw something at me. Thought he was a policeman, not a ninja. So I didn't kick his family jewels hard enough. Apparently not. Oh, you... Stop throwing stuff at me. See, when I played these games on the Spectrum and on the Amiga, I assumed I was missing something about the Commodore originals. That maybe there was something lost in translation. There's no block button though, is there? Okay. Can people just not stay dead? Game over. Right, okay. play the Amiga version instead. Okay. The only attack that you ever used when you played this back in the day was the kick. You don't recall the enemies reviving again because you played the Amiga version. Well, I am now on the Amiga version, so let's see. I'm thinking I've placed my camera in the wrong place, haven't I? 1 second. Let me move where my camera is. That's probably going to be better. Why is it not? So it's the same music, but just a different remix of it. Okay, Paddy, your brother played this, but you were as bad as I am, right? Fair enough. Hello? I take it I'm supposed to try and actually move around when I'm doing these fights. I'm going to go the other way, actually. I'm going to go up. Yes, you could say that. It is a Last Ninja remix. Oh. Well, it lacks the speed of the Commodore 64 original. I'll give it that. What's on the grill? A burger. Ooh, burger. Stop trying to pick stuff up when I'm trying to fight someone. Kick him. Hooray! The reason I keep going in the female toilet is because I did actually read I glanced at a solution before playing it, and it said go to the female toilets to pick up the 2 pieces of a nunchuck. That's as far as I got. Confused ninja. Yeah. Okay, so now I've got those 2 items, what do I do with them? Hey! Nunchucks! There you go, I can now fight with nunchucks. Apparently. Still can't actually reach anybody with them. Ah, there we go. I killed him a bit quicker. Why did you put it away? Must be said the controls are not particularly responsive. Oh, what the hell? What did he throw at me? How do I climb a gate? There we go. Controls on Last Ninja games are a bit sketchy. I think that's a slight understatement. Do I have to try and jump across there? No! One of the first times that you actually felt frustrated. All of those extremely legitimate questions that you were asking there, Pad. Should be targeted at the developers. Well, he's not getting up anymore. That's because I've beaten him up with nunchucks, isn't it? Oh, there goes, got up. He has got up now. You did complete them all on the Commodore 64. Well, I'll take my hat off to you for that one. I think there's probably no other reason that this is set in America other than the developers wanted to give it a more real-world setting. So how do I use the key? What was the controls again? Isn't this? There is an instructions here. That's up. Yeah. There's nothing here about the actual story of the game. General tips. The first aspects of the game that you should try and master are the gamepad controls. No shit. A high level of competence at the controls will enhance my gameplay considerably. Yeah, but surely I would need to actually want to be able to get good at the controls. See, there's a clue. Pulling off this two-part problem could make you a flush with success. So yes, check the toilets. Yes, lovely instructions. Get good. I'm assuming that the key isn't for that gate then. Or if it is, am I not stood in the exact pixel perfect? Yeah, am I not stood in the exact pixel perfect position that I need for that? Okay, there is a map on the floor, apparently near the near where I got the staff. It says yes, open the gate with the key that I collected earlier. Well, that's what I've been trying to do. But yes, as you quite rightly point out, Pad, he's clearly not a very good ninja if he can't just get over a gate. Especially as that wall is quite clearly not as tall as him. Found a map! Yoo-hoo! You bought this collection just for IK Plus? Well, yes. Exactly. As should any sane individual. So how do you use an item? It says I'm holding the key. So get the key. Well, hey! Apparently, you have to stand in front of the gate and use pick up in order to actually open it. Obviously, because that makes complete sense. No lives left. 16% complete, apparently. Fighting Alan Titchmarsh in ground force. Okay. Back to the menu then. So there is a Spectrum version, as I say. There's also the Commodore 64 original that I played. All right. Let's go. Let's see Last Ninja 3. Let's see. So, Last Ninja 3, you've got Amiga or Commodore 64 versions. Let's stick with the Amiga version, shall we? Are the controls exactly the same? Yes, they are. It allows save states. Yes, it does. You speak for everybody when you said I should be completing the games. Well, we're going to be here for a very, 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 very long time if that happens. If that's the case.
Real hatred is time.
What I can do is, as this is the first time that I've ever played this compilation, I can promise to go away and practice and actually try and complete at least one of these games, and then I will come back and complete that one on stream. It's a nice atmospheric intro, at least. Now, it does sound exactly the same as the lightning sound effect from the Shadow of the Beast 2 intro. Oh, it's one of those games, is it? That doesn't actually give you a second to do anything before people start coming at you and fighting. What horrendous collision detection. That looks ominous. Yep. Crikey. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the graphics. I think I mean that's because I do always kind of like isometric graphics anyway. But the characters do look very nice. Shame they're let down by the controls. Ah yes, I forgot that the map kind of loops around on this one. That's not where I was expecting to come into that screen from. Oh, hang on. This is okay for the beginning of the 90s. See, Ninja Remakes. This is the remake of the original game, but they did do a Commodore 64 version of it as well. It's weird. Okay. Music by Jochen Hippel. He did a lot of ones for Thalion. Why are you not letting me pass? There we go. So again, it's very nice to look at. Why can't you pick that up? You die and become the mini-me equivalent of Skeletor from He-Man. There! But hey! I can use a sword! Yay! How on earth? No, so there's only one. There's only one line up there, though, where there's three. Right, so if I had to hold down the fire button, then hold down the jump button, and I just keep. Don't stop between it. I'm running away from you. Okay, really bad collision detection once again. Apparently I'm not hitting him. So I think judging off this collection so far, I think Last Ninja 2 is probably going to be the one that I need to practice and complete. Stop trying to hit me! That is ridiculous how you have to actually be pixel perfect to pick things up. I landed on it. Right. So let's play the C64 version then, shall we? Saying the C64 versions are better. Why is it? Okay, Ninja Remix, and it's gone to Last Ninja 2. But I wholeheartedly agree with what Terra Ken said earlier, of like how you shouldn't have to have the first person that you come across take 20 hits to kill them. To be fair, you have to be pixel perfect to pick things up in real life. Stop it, you absolute sod. Oh, what the hell? You must admit you could be looking at it through 30-year-old rose-tinted glasses. Yeah, see, I've played that already. Okay. Now, Bangkok Nights is a game that I have never played, so let's have a look, shall we? We have an Amiga or Commodore 64 version of this one. Let's go with the Commodore 64 version first, shall we? Apparently got 90% in Zap magazine. It was the CMVG Game of the Month. And got 8 out of 10 in Commodore User. The burger is $15 on the Commodore 64. The Amiga was $25. $25 for a burger. This wasn't 2026, and that burger wasn't from TGI Fridays. Music by Rob Hubbard on this one. I suppose better have a look at the controls, hadn't I? A button to attack, so it's, yeah, single fire button. Oh dear. You had a Commodore 64 and then sold it. You had a Commodore 64 and sold it to get an Amiga. Obviously, I went from Spectrum to Atari ST, then to Amiga. So I in the 80s, I didn't have a Commodore 64. So I've only recently purchased one. It's on the desk here to my left. I am still working on a top 100 games for the Commodore 64. Although I'm currently only up to about 30. So it might be it's going to be a while before I can publish the full list of that one. Used to go to the shop and get them to load the game up. The game shop that I used to go in the 80s would do the same thing. Although it tended to be the Atari ST and Amiga that were set up for loading the games on. We have two, well, yes, we have 3 UKGN Commodore 64s in storage. Oof. Why does my player character look like Dean Martin? Yeah. Hey, middle-aged gamer guys, join the chat. Good afternoon, Mags. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, it does look a little bit like Dean Martin, doesn't he? I must say the graphics on this are actually pretty decent. But crucially, the gameplay is actually not too bad either. I would imagine this would obviously work better if it was in 2-player. Is this a kick him in the nuts simulator? Kick him in the nads. Sorry, not nuts. Oh dear. I've played beat 'em ups that have come out today that are not actually as responsive or playable as this. Nick Vallet's joined the chat. Hello from France. Hello. Welcome to the UK. I'm going to check the Amiga version instead. original concept and C64 version. Atari ST and Amiga conversion by Soft Culture, never heard of them. Directed and produced by Software Studios for Activision. I believe this was a very early Amiga game. Not that I'm using that as an excuse for the fact that it looks basic. C64 version, I think, is actually better. Time expired. Wow. I'm doing great, thanks, Max. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I definitely think you're better off sticking with the Commodore 64 original, this one. Looks like Bloodsport. No. Yeah, the controls aren't particularly responsive. I don't know if that's because because it's designed for a joystick and not for a joypad. The only move that I seem to actually do successfully is the forward kick. It's no Panzer kickboxing, is it? Ooh, I beat him. I'm now going to be fighting Dan Fists. Some quality character names there. Panzer kickboxing, was I any good at it? It was a game that took a lot of patience. So it was one that if you actually had the time and did all your training montages properly and like did all the fights, it was certainly better than the American remake of it, which was Best of the Best. And I'm wondering how long it's going to take for Pad to mention Eric Roberts in the comments now that I've mentioned Best of the Best. Dan Fist, so my. But yes, but does Dan Fist? Very good question. I'm going to play some international karate instead. I think that's probably going to be better. So I've got the Spectrum version, which looks like Way of the Exploding Fist, or the Commodore 64 version. I'm going to play the Commodore 64 version. He does look like he kicks more than he fists. Yeah, that's quite right. How do you start game? So that's playing a demo. So how do I start game? I'm pressing the fire button. You can speed up with the 4 shoulder buttons. Start reset game is the minus button. That makes no sense. Okay. Oh. Final blow. I remember playing the Amiga version. I never played the arcade original, so I don't know how accurate it is. The Amiga version was by the Sales Curve, people who made Swiv. But international karate always works really well because the controls are kept nice and simple. Got 8 different moves that you can press by pressing directions, and then another 8 that you can get by holding the fire button at the same time. Ah, punched him in the nuts. No idea what I'm supposed to do. Am I just supposed to press the fire button at the right time, or direction, or what? Ouch! Not only punched in the nads, but punching the nads whilst jumping. Oh, no. Now, this is good, but it's putting me in the mood to play some IK Plus. The hell? Ow. I did play a lot of Way the Exploding Fist on the Spectrum when I had that. And this is very similar, but slightly better, I think.
Still streaming.
I actually wonder how good the last Ninja games would be if you actually updated the graphics and revamped the gameplay. I'm very surprised that somebody hasn't taken the last Ninja name and applied it to something more modern. Ah. Yeah, so on to IK Plus. And I am going to have to play the Amiga version of this. I mean, all the versions are excellent, but it's going to have to be the Amiga. If only for the music. With everything great that Archer McLean did in his career, this is his crowning achievement. R.I.P. The whole idea of adding a third character is just genius. That's fine. I can't hear what you're asking. No.
Garage key.
Yes. I think it is. Unfortunately, that this isn't going to have any of the keyboard controls in it, is it? Jesse, Drop Zone, Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker. Both classics as well. This is definitely in your top 50 Amiga games. Probably in my top 10, to be honest. Or if not top 10, then definitely top 20. There is a pants drop button. I wonder if they've included that in the controls. No, they haven't. Drop 'em, B button. Yes, they have incorporated it in there. There they go. Yay! In the Amiga original, you press the T button. Yeah, there were all kinds of keyboard commands. You could press P to get Pac-Man to come across in the background. This is one of the greatest local co-op games ever made, or local competitive, just multiplayer all around. Because pressing the B button, you could change the shield to a larger IK Plus logo. Oh, what the hell? That didn't turn around. But it's great how you can still progress if you come in second place. The number of times that you can fluke and advance to the next round. I think Grandma might have taken my key. I think Grandma might have taken my garage key, so I don't know where one is. It could be that one, yeah. I know it's got a circular end. Ah, the joys of having a son just ask you questions while you're streaming. Oh dear. They could have justified the $29.99 asking price for this collection if they'd made it online multiplayer for this. Oh yeah, the speeds are there. That's yawn, boring, normal, turbo. There we go. Running at turbo speed. Oh, and there's a head. Well, aren't you the lucky one, Mags? So your belt just automatically changes colour when you reach a certain score as well. Ooh. No! I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna be knocked out. No! Ah, I came third. Lost. I've achieved Hall of Fame entry status. And there's no exiting to menus, you just press the fire button and off you go again. There's Pac-Man. This is IK Plus King Kodiak. The absolute classic that is IK Plus. Ah. A lot of modern games could learn from this. Just how simple it is to pick up and play. I think there's no barrier to entry for skill. Pretty much anybody should be able to pick up and play this. I think the Spectrum version of this came out after I no longer had a Spectrum. I think I had moved on to the Atari ST and Amiga by the time this game was released. I'm out already. I have since gone back and played the Spectrum version, and the Spectrum version is excellent. I think there are versions of this game that have been released on at least 20 different consoles over the years. I know there was a version that came out on the PlayStation that was literally just this game on a disc, on a CD, and it's like almost a waste of a disc in terms of the amount of space it took up. But he's probably could have released it on a memory card. Oh, why has it knocked me out? Everyone got the same. Everyone got 4 points. You can still hear your childhood self making all the noises that the Spectrum didn't. Maybe I should have had the music from this game playing on my weight screen at the start of the stream today. But not only is it a great multiplayer game, it's a great score challenge arcade game for single player as well. With the way that you can get bonus points for completing levels quickly. Had to go silent for a second then because of how well I was doing on that. Yes. You could change the sunset on the Amiga. I can't remember what key that was on the keyboard. You could change the colour of the sunset. You could get Pac-Man to come across in the background. You could change the clothes on the judge. You could press T to drop trousers. Although the F keys to change the game's speed. I'm out again. Let me just bring up the Lemon Amiga website and see what there'll be. I'm sure there'll be a list of all the keyboard commands on there. You can make fish leaps. You can make fish jump out of the water. You can make a periscope rise out of the water. I'm sure all of these things are probably not possible on the Switch version, unfortunately. Oh, you git. I got knocked out in the first bleeding round. King Kodiak, I used to play Way of the Exploding Fist quite a lot as well. This is like the arcade equivalent of Way of the Exploding Fist, though. And it did always make me laugh, even back in the 80s, that Melbourne House, after this game came out, made a Way of the Exploding Fist Plus that was exactly like this with a third character. Oh, that was the periscope. I just saw the periscope come out. Damn it! This would have been a fantastic arcade release, yes. You but well, I managed to progress whilst lying on the ground on that one. Kick the bombs away. Crikey. I do like the fact that on this minigame in particular, you don't lose by letting a bomb explode. You can actually avoid the debris. Hey, 5,000 points. Just bopping away to the music. Well, the music is epic. Oh no! Damn it! I'm gonna fall. I thought I was gonna. I definitely came second on that one, so I'm all right. Ah! Oh, you bastard. No! No, don't dare. I got a hit in there at the last just to make sure that I qualified for the next stage. Wonder how many points I have to get to for the next belt. Move. Come on. No, no. No! Damn it. Was there an end to this game? Not really, no, it just keeps going. Like I say, classic score-based arcade game. You just keep going until you lose a round. Hey, purple belt. I'm out! Ah, oh, damn you. So you just keep going, belts just keep getting, the colour of your belt keeps changing as you go. And then when you fail, you start again. Ah, you... So ultimately, I think this Last Ninja collection is 100% worth getting if you've never played this game before. And it's a fairly bare bones package overall, though. There's not a huge amount of options or behind the scenes stuff in there. It does at least come with a manual. There's a paper manual in that box. But International Karate and IK Plus are definitely the best two games in there. If you are a massive fan of the Last Ninja games, then it's probably nice to have them all bundled together. I personally found that the controls were a little bit clunky and ruined what could have potentially been great games. Oh dear, I'm not doing very well at all on this round. But I think I am going to end today's live stream there. Not a huge, not a lot else, not a lot else to do on this compilation. Yes, I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. As a list of all the people who supported the release at the end there. My coffee has gone cold because I got distracted by playing some games, but I'm going to finish drinking it anyway. So yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be back this coming Friday with the latest episode of Amiga re-review, looking at Sleepwalker from Ocean Software. I'm going to get on and finish recording that this afternoon. Probably going to have a review for you coming up either tomorrow or Thursday of Timberborn, which came out last week on the PC. And next Tuesday I'll come back and try and finish off Cruise for a Corpse, which I should have been doing today, but I thought I'd play this instead. So hopefully you'll come back and watch me play that one. And then this coming Sunday, we have the Wheel of Xbox 360 Racers, and the game that was chosen for this Sunday is Burnout Paradise. So if you want to come back and watch me play that, that will be 8 PM on Sunday evening. So please come back and watch and support the channel. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope I will see you all again very soon. Have a great day. Happy retro gaming, everybody. Bye for now.